welcome to the two burning tapers with our extra two guests here. So I'm going to call this a four burning tapers night. How about that, Skittles?
Yeah.
What do you think about
I love that.
Right.
Yeah, that's fun, man. This is our first time doing four people.
Yeah. Hey, once you go four, you never go back. But I'm just saying. No, sorry. Oh, that's a great way to start a podcast. So we got Brother Flyboy and Brother Kevin on our podcast, straight out the cornfields of Arkansas. No, that's Illinois, right? No, y'all got cornfields out there? Rice fields. There we go.
Rice, yeah.
Rice.
Wow.
Nice.
Rice fields and Razorbacks.
Rice fields and Razorbacks. Okay. All right, that's awesome, Brother Skittles. I know I'm about to hit you really quick off the cuff here, but we got two guests. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can handle a intro for two guests off the cuff, but I don't.
Yeah.
Do you think you could give it a shot?
Yeah, no, I only do one, so I don't even know. Welcome back to the Two Burning Tapers podcast. Tonight, we're talking about the future of the craft. We've got Brother Kevin and Brother Flyby in the house representing the DeMoley, building young men into leaders, brothers, and the next generation of Freemasonry. So crank it up. Grab out your favorite whatever listening device. You're on the Two Burning Tapers podcast, and we're glad you're here. Brother Kevin and Brother Flyboy, welcome to the Two Burning Tapers podcast. Welcome, brothers. Glad to see you guys here.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Nice. Well, wow. I don't know who to hit first, Sean. Like literally, it's two of them right here. I'm like, all right. Hold on. Where do I go? Brother Flyboy?
Gilligan. So literally, I thought about this, and you've told me a story about how one time you had two girls at the same bar. And you had to run to there, and there. And literally leading into tonight, I knew your brain was going to be like, oh, okay, I got to go here. So brothers, so be easy with us tonight.
Oh, man.
We have ADHD, so we might bounce around a little bit, but
just remember, I'm the pretty girl.
Oh, yeah, you're the pretty girl. Okay.
I'm the pretty girl.
Well, the pretty girl in the story got the VIP treatment upstairs, where the other one couldn't come up and come into the area.
I'm not pretty.
I can't believe you called me out like that on national podcast, there, brother.
Starting it off right, man.
Oh man, a great way to start this podcast. Like you come out shotguns a-blazing, brother. Oh man. Oh, but Brother Flyboy, I guess I'll start off with you. I assume that you are a Master Mason.
I am.
All right. And Brother Kevin, I heard you are a Fellercraft.
Yep.
All right, nice. So you are a Brother Mason, just not a Master Mason at the current steps. Awesome, Brother Flyboy. What year did you become a Master Mason?
I became a Master Mason April 9th, 2009.
2009. Nice. So that is the same year that I got raised, but mine was in March of 2009.
Nice. So I turned 21 January 6th of 2009, and that's when I got my EA. And in Arkansas at that point, you had to be 21 still.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So I had that pushed me into April.
Gotcha. So it's I can only assume that it is 18 now.
Yes.
Yeah, he's over here like, yeah.
Brother Kevin knows.
He's like, yeah, sure. So, Brother Kevin, you said you're what, 20 now?
Yes.
So you starting off in your journey there. Okay. What man, my brain is trying to ask too many questions at the same time to both of them.
Yeah, go for it, brother.
Brother Flyboy, how did you find Freemasonry, being that you said you had to wait until you were 21, so maybe you had a family member or maybe a legacy grandfather, father, or fill me in on that story.
So my dad was a Mason, and that's really what got me into things. Ever since I could remember, I wanted to be just like my dad.
Okay.
And being a Mason was part of that. So one day when I was 12, Dad comes home and says, "Hey, there's this thing for 12-year-olds that's like junior Masons. Would you be interested in it?" And of course, I was like, "Heck yeah, duh." So then he took me to a DeMoley meeting at the Fort Smith Scottish Rite Temple, where I met Dad Bill, and he explained it to me, and I got into that, and that was my first real introduction into Masonry.
Mm-hmm.
And the experience and the connections I made from that just made it obvious that Masonry is where I needed to be and where I wanted to focus the free time of my life at that point.
Right.
So that was my brief introduction.
So in 2000, or excuse me, when you were 12 and then 21
Yeah, it's
was
like
your
2001.
2001. You were 12 in 2001?
No, that's not right.
I was like, "Oh, dang, you're making me feel old
Uh-oh.
here." I mean, he
How
makes
old
me
was I?
feel old.
2000. I was 12 in 2000.
12 in 2000. All
Okay.
right. Dang, you're in your
Yeah.
30s. You're in your dirty 30s too?
Yeah.
Damn.
I just
Nice.
look a little rough.
Dude, I'm the old guy on the podcast. That sucks.
Yeah,
No,
you're the old man here.
I'm the old
We'll
man
look
here.
up to you, brother.
Grandpa Gilligan.
There you go. There you go. I don't look it though. I don't look it. Most people think I'm his age, but that's all right. Kevin's age. Most people think I'm Kevin's age. I'll go with that.
Definitely.
One. So Kevin, you said you're a fellow craft. How did you find Freemasonry?
Yeah, so my dad is Master Mason, but when he was a kid, he joined DeMoley, and when he turned 21, he became a Mason, became an advisor, and for my entire life, he's been working as an advisor for DeMoley. And so growing up, I was always around DeMoley. My mom was a Rainbow, and she still helps out as an advisor for Rainbow, so I kind of grew up always being around the Masonic world. And so I got to see how cool it was, got to see how much it meant to my dad. And so I 12, I actually had to wait a month. There was a meeting like the day after my 12th birthday, and I was super excited. And then I got the flu, so I had to wait a month. But February 5th, I got to join DeMolay, and when I turned 18 and graduated high school, I wanted to start the journey, got my EA, and then between on breaks from school, worked on my lecture, got my fellow craft, just continue that connection and that legacy that I have with my dad. And also so that when I grow up and no longer an active DeMolay, I can continue giving back.
Okay.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah, so you get to keep giving back in Freemasonry. So what are you studying for school?
Yeah, so I am a double major, electrical engineering and classical studies with an emphasis in game design. So it's kind of a cool program. We do the Latin and the Greek that most classics programs have, but we also get to make and play video games about mythology, and that's really fun.
Oh, okay. That sounds cool. I would probably suck at playing games. You would probably kick me off from playing with you. Be like, "Hey, you suck, old guy. What are you doing? This isn't Tari. What do you mean?"
Yeah, a lot of the games we end up playing are very, very story driven. So the gameplay is not too bad. There was one last semester we did a class where we played 8 games based on different mythology stories and had to analyze certain choices they made and how the mechanics were based on the stories. And I had to ask my professor, like, "Hey, I can't beat this level. Can I just like watch a playthrough or download a cheat code or something?" And ended up about half the class needed to use the video because they just could not beat the level. So you wouldn't be too out of place.
Do you know what's just popped in my head there, Brother Skittles? I bet this kid could make a Masons only video game. like a story plot your degree work as you're trying to go through it. Just my brain was randomly as he was going through that. I was
Yeah.
like, man, that would be a cool video game that was only offered to a Masonic brother or something to kind of. I don't know. I don't know what my brain was running around with that, but it was
Oh
going.
no, you were thinking that when you receive your third degree, you get given your your Bible, your blue book, and then a little CD or ROM or however people are downloading video games now. It's like, all right, now you can go play the third degree. We'll call it the third degree game or something.
There you
Kevin,
go.
I'm so sorry, man. Dude, I can tell you're talking to old people, and I forgive us. Dang
It's
it.
all good.
So
I haven't
the bad
seen my
thing is
third
if you made
degree,
that video game, he'd have to teach you how to play it because you wouldn't understand it.
Fair enough.
100%. Yeah.
100%. 100%. So you got into DeMolay. DeMolay laid into Freemasonry. You got into you got your entered apprentice. You got your fellow craft. Who is your mentor? Is it your dad, or who helps you with your study work? Because I can only assume you guys have to do long form there, since you have to since you're saying study work.
Yeah. So the lodge that I ended up joining was the same lodge that my dad joined or is a member of, and they have there's a lecturer down there that I work with when I'm home from school. I go to college about 3 hours away from that lodge. So it definitely makes getting time to work on my lecture a little difficult. But for specifically lecture work, I've got him. But masonry as a whole, one of the cool things about being involved with DeMolay is that there are so many advisors to serve as mentors for you. My dad is definitely a big one. Buddy was a big one as well. He just kind of became an advisor right around the time I joined DeMolay, a little before. Um, there's so many people I could name, both Master Masons, not Master Masons, that have kind of helped guide me through DeMolay. And then later, like in Lodge, sit next to me, nudge me when I need to do something that I didn't realize or whatever. And that's part of what made joining Masonry a no-brainer for me, was that I knew I had these connections already. I knew a ton of really great people that I looked up to and that helped me become a better person. And continuing that connection was just a no-brainer.
Right. I can understand that. So you definitely shoot. I hate my brain sometimes because when I'm in the middle of something, it's just like shoo. See you later. Sometimes I need to just hold my hand up so I can catch it sometimes, but it it's gone.
It's
All right,
okay.
well,
I've got ADHD too.
Yeah, let me pop in then. So I want to try to connect these two worlds together. Brother Kevin, you love hearing your story about how you found DeMolay, and I know Gilligan shares Freemasonry with his father. I love hearing that you're sharing Freemasonry with your father. I personally don't have that, although I do have an awesome father. But I want to try to figure out how we're going to bring these two worlds together. Brother Flyboy, where do you come in all of this? What is your connection to DeMolay?
So like I mentioned earlier, when I was 12, my dad, a master mason, introduced me to DeMolay because he knew I was interested in masonry at that time because that's what he did. So he brought me to a meeting, and I met Bill Moore, who he was the chapter advisor for the local Fort Smith chapter, and he just really started showing me the experiences that I could have through DeMolay. How instead of just being at a club that meets in a building twice a month, how we could be traveling to other places and meeting more people and helping them do their stuff. Which then, by Gilligan,
You're good. Don't worry.
which then led into not just traveling inside the state and meeting all these other people, but traveling outside of the state to our neighboring states. And what a big thing that I got is Dad Moore. He was just an old retired guy that was hanging out at the temple all the time helping these kids, and he had a true passion for masonry and a true passion for helping grow these leaders.
Mhm.
So it was nothing for him to just drop everything he was doing on a Thursday night and drive us to Little Rock 2 hours away so we could go to a meeting and experience what Masons experience when they're trying to help with the craft.
Mhm.
So his mentorship is what really set the trajectory for me into masonry and opened up doors to meeting other people, other masons, um, that really solidified that these people care. These people are making things better, and these are the people that I want to surround myself with for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And when was it that you and Kevin met, or how did those two worlds collide there?
So, so Kevin's dad was one of the state advisors for DeMoley when I was an active member.
Okay.
And so when I was the state master counselor for Arkansas, which is kind of like the grand master for Arkansas, um, when I was the state master counselor and went on to be the international congress secretary, I would end up in Little Rock a lot. And being a college student, I didn't like to spend a lot of money on gas, and I didn't like to drive a lot of places by myself
Mhm.
because it cost gas. So I usually
Yeah.
ended up at Kevin's dad's house, and I would end up in a car with Kevin and his mom, which Kevin was in a car seat, and I would just ride in the back seat with Kevin. We'd watch Dukes of Hazzard. You were like what, 3, 4?
Yeah, something like
We'd
that.
be we'd be watching Dukes of Hazzard. I'd be eating his Cheerios, and then just ever
Yeah.
since then, every time I've been at something, Kevin's been there. We've meshed, and I got to help him come up and be a state master counselor. And I get to help him out, and got to put his collar on him the night that he became the International Congress Secretary. And it's been a full circle moment for me because I've literally seen Kevin since he was a kid, that with hardly any concept of it, to embracing this and
Okay.
being the great leader that he is.
Cool. Very interesting. So I guess that maybe leads to like Kevin, maybe we need to hear your DeMolay history or your story. Like where'd
Yeah.
you come from, and like I don't know, let's hear your experience in DeMolay.
Yeah, so I joined when I was 12, but my whole life I'd been around it. My dad, being an advisor and deputy member of the International Supreme Council for DeMolay, I always was around it. I always saw how cool it was. And then but I didn't really like. I just knew that it was cool. Didn't know why until I joined. And looking back, it's a little over 8 years now, which crazy to think about it because it doesn't feel that long ago for me. But like DeMolay is very unique in that a lot of other organizations for youth, whether through school or Boy Scouts or church group or whatever, they can help. You'll learn stuff, you'll make friends, meet people. But DeMolay takes it one step further in that every single thing that happens at a DeMolay chapter, the active members are planning, they're voting on, they're deciding, they are running the whole show themselves. We've got advisors like Buddy to make sure we don't do anything illegal or dangerous. Buddy lets us do dangerous stuff, but
Hey,
he
hey,
stops us on the illegal stuff, actually.
don't bust me out on a podcast.
But we really get to make our own DeMolay experience, and that really set me up for success. I remember I got to be my master counselor of my chapter, worshipful master equivalent, during COVID. And that was a crazy time because I get installed December of 2020. And then 2 days later, Arkansas gets the third wave, and all in-person Masonic events get shut down for 3 months. So I have to completely pivot my whole term plan. We switch to doing virtual stuff. We do virtual game nights. We do Zoom meetings. We move one of our fundraisers over. And then when we get back in person, I got to flip it again and go back to doing in-person meetings and getting used to that. But it taught me so much resilience and problem-solving skills and learning how to run meetings and help people come to conclusions and planning events. And in ways I didn't really expect to help. So I ended up doing debate in high school. I got really good at it. Was top 30 in the country at one point my senior year for congressional debate. All of that came from the fact that DeMolay taught me how to think critically about things when planning events.
Mm.
That transferred over to doing research. And also, DeMoley has a ritual element, much like Lodge, and it gave me a lot of confidence in my speaking ability. When I went to apply for college, I had my debate experience and I had my DeMoley experience, and I was able to interview for a full ride scholarship. And being able to talk about those experiences and the confidence that DeMolay gave me in my ability helped me get said full ride scholarship. And continuing as a state officer, I've been a state officer for 5 years, 2 years as state secretary, then went up the state junior, state senior, state master counselor line. And that was just everything I learned at the chapter level, but times a million. I'm not planning a fundraiser for 10 guys in one city. We're doing events for an entire state with 120 members, trying to coordinate budgets and make sure contracts are signed for venues. And, it really showed me just how much is really possible. See a lot of stuff online about how crummy the world is, and you think, oh, I'm just like a kid. There's not really anything I can do. But then I turn around and see my DeMolay brothers. At internationally this year, we raised almost $20,000 for the Jed Foundation to help them create mental health resources. I've seen jurisdictions raise enough money. A chapter in Arkansas raised enough money to send 12 kids to band camp completely free. That was a chapter fundraiser that went on for 4 months. I mean, when you really get together with your DeMolay brothers and you really work towards it, you can accomplish anything. And that just gave me so much confidence and just kind of made me realize, like, okay, the world's my oyster. I can apply for this really difficult scholarship. I can try doing debate. I can try being state master counselor, and I can try running for an international office. And so this past June in Chicago, I got elected the 60th International Congress Secretary, which was probably the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. DeMolay at the international level has a Congress every year where the top 2 officers from every state and every country get together, and we have really important discussions on how do we address membership, or what's going well, what should we work on, what can the international level do for your states and your chapters. And they also elect 2 young men that get to serve as international officers. And so I got elected, and part of that means I get to serve as a voting member of the board of directors for DI. I get to travel around the world talking to DeMolays, helping teach leadership seminars, creating resources for them. In 5 days, I leave for Brazil. I'm missing the whole first week of class to be down there for their convention. And it really, I get to help all 25,000 members of DeMolay, not just the 120 in my state or the 15 in my chapter. So I've kind of gone off on a little longer than I meant to, but that's kind of everything so far.
No, that's fantastic.
No. Yeah,
go ahead,
perfect. Perfect. No, as you were just sitting there telling me your story, I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like, just add some fucking motorcycles to that, and they ain't no different than us. Like, literally, just add some fucking motorcycles to it, and there's nothing different. Like, come on, that's the same exact story that Brother Buddy's gonna tell you. That, like, that's his shit and Widow's Sons, but he'll say it in a different language and something a little more adulty. But no, just kidding. But what I took from that, from when I got to be able to get my internet fixed and jump back on, was, Brother Kevin, you are young, and you have, I always say this about Freemasonry, and how we get into lodge, and how it's like we're 5 handshakes away from George Washington with the knowledge that we have standing in that room. You're a young gentleman, and you have the mindset and the ability to be able to be a CEO or something of a company, because you're being able to go through these experiences with DeMolay, being able to sit back and have that confidence building of being able to stand up in front of a room, stand with your peers, be able to address things, be able to try to figure out how can we fix this common issue that's happening in a company. So you're building an experience through DeMolay of not necessarily just building yourself, but you're building yourself to set yourself up for success in the future. Not by
Yes.
gaining, by being able to talk to a brother and say, oh, you can physically get me a job somewhere. It's being able to gain that experience that you're doing right now to be able to set yourself up for success. Because as Freemasonry, we're always taught to always seek light, and you're seeking the light really hard right now. So keep it up.
Thank you. Yeah, that's one
Okay.
thing I love about DeMoley is that it's so focused on, yes, it's about making ourselves better and gaining skills, but the way it ends up happening, you don't realize it's happening. In your mind, oh, I'm just planning a video game night for me and my friends. I'm not, you don't realize all the critical thinking and life skills you're gaining. You're just hanging out with friends. And I think that's why DeMolay is so great at building really good leaders, is because it takes what would otherwise people might find boring, or, oh, I don't need to learn all this. That doesn't matter. When you package it in fun and you package it with hanging out with your friends or cool things you get to do, you really take to it a lot more and you really learn the lessons a lot better.
Yeah, just like motorcycles. I add motorcycles to
Yeah,
it.
to touch on something you said, Gilligan, they're doing exactly what we do in Lodge, but they're 12 to 21. They're not even full blown adults yet, and they're forming their committees and doing all the planning and running their own events. The guys like me are literally just there to make sure they're not doing anything stupid or illegal, and if they get
Right.
stumped, we throw out some suggestions. So
Right.
we've got these young adults, these young men that are figuring things out. I just activated my camera. Well, how about that?
Good for you. No,
Stop.
you centered yourself. It looks great.
Where was I
Technology. You were talking
at?
about how
Technology. But these guys, just, you know how difficult it is for us to, it's hand motion activated. You know how difficult it is for us in Lodge to plan a fundraiser and get people to serve on committees and function in those committees.
yeah.
But if they learned it when they were 12 to 21, gosh, Lodge would be easy.
Correct.
Yeah,
I'll say,
that's something that. Go ahead, Gillian.
No, go ahead.
Well, that's something that I wanted to bring up was, we've always said on the podcast, like, man, what would the world look like if everybody was a Freemason? Well, maybe tonight I want to bring up something. What would Freemasonry look like if everybody was DeMolay? So, did
Or
DeMolay
rainbow.
or rainbow, exactly? Did DeMolay prop you guys up or encourage you or just, I don't know, like it just seems like it got you guys ready to be like the best Masons possible. Could you run with that or something?
Kevin?
Yeah, I definitely can. I currently, Arkansas had 2 in a row past Grand Masters who were senior DeMolays. We're getting to the point. DeMolays have been around long enough. You look around the country, some of the half of the Grand Masters you're going to meet were DeMolays, and everyone I've talked to has said that DeMolay put them on the right path and showed them all the stuff they need to do to stick with Masonry and get involved with it. DeMolay, it teaches you all those practical skills. It teaches you how to run a meeting, how to invite people to actually come to events, how to plan things. But one thing DeMolay also does is puts you in the right mindset. So DeMolay's ritual is, in my opinion, one of the coolest parts. And it does 2 things. By having something that members can memorize and speak at meetings and opening meetings the same way, you're building that confidence in your public speaking skills, but you're also taking to heart what those lessons are. And the lessons in DeMolay are very similar to those in Masonry. In DeMolay, we have 3 key bulwarks, and that is civil liberty, religious liberty, and intellectual liberty. And those to us are the 3 most important things. You have to have your conscience has to be able to follow the religion it chooses. You have to make sure that there is a government to protect your rights and to protect your right to liberty, and that everyone needs to have access to schools so that the other 2 rights can stay. And the way that you protect those three is by being the best person you can be and following 7 key virtues that we teach. And that's love and respect of parents, reverence for sacred things, courtesy, comradeship, fidelity, cleanness, and patriotism. And so the idea is that if you really take those 7 virtues to heart, you're going to be a better leader, a better man, you're going to be a better citizen, you're going to be a better friend. And if you really take those virtues to heart, you'll be on the right track. And I think going into Freemasonry already familiar with the type of like ritual and structure, and also like just the type of lessons that you're supposed to be learning from degrees really allowed me to appreciate more the degrees when I got them. And I think that, and then also a big part of DeMolay is service to your community. And if you can get people when they are 12, 13, 14 thinking about, okay, how can I help my neighbors? How can I do something for those less fortunate? How can I do a coat drive or whatever it is? If you start thinking about that when you are 12 or 13 or 14 or whenever, it's going to become second nature by the time you're 18 or 21 and entering Freemasonry. And I think service is the most important part of Masonry. I think that's how it has the best opportunity to make an impact on the world. And I think if every member of Masonry had an experience like in DeMolay or with one of the other groups like Rainbow or Job's Daughters, getting to see these experiences and think about these things at such a young age, I think, there wouldn't be such a learning curve that a lot of new Masons feel. And I also think just it would be carried outside the lodge a lot more.
I would be a little easier to say I would let an 18-year-old in my lodge and vote on an 18-year-old if I knew he went through DeMolay versus just a random 18-year-old coming and knocking on my door, because they have the mindset of how we all feel, and they have some experience of what we're looking for, or where we're going to. What you're trying to achieve as a master mason is to build that spiritual temple within inside yourself, and to always hold yourself accountable for your things. Be a good citizen. Just all the things that you mentioned in DeMolay is the same thing that you do in Freemasonry. I used to always say I want the younger children to go through the military, to try to get some of that mindset, to try to make a better citizen, or just a better person in general, because you've all been through the same thing. But Freemasonry and DeMolay and Rainbow and Job's Daughters evidently presents the same thing that I was looking for. But Brother Flyboy or Kevin, do either one of you know when DeMolay started and where?
So it started in 1919 in Kansas City, Missouri. So Frank S. Land was a Master Mason, Scottish Rite, Shriners. I think he might have been York Rite too, but he was very involved with Scottish Rite and Shrine. Was serving as the secretary for the lodge in Kansas City. And they had a member who died in World War I who had a son who was 16. And, they asked, you were close to him. Could you please go check on his son? And that ended up, he got offered a job helping clean up around the temple. And their friendship led to Dad Land saying, well, hey, if you want to have like a club with some of your friends, we can organize something. You can meet here down at the temple. And the first meeting, It was Louis Lauer, who was the first DeMolay, and 8 of his friends. And they created DeMolay. And within 6 months, there were 75 members, and they were having to have a vote as to whether or not they were going to open it up to more than 75 members or not. By 2021, they were in something like 30 states and Canada. Right now, we're in 31 countries and counting. It fluctuates. But even from the start, DeMolay has always been about, the same thing of like helping build up young men and giving them confidence and really great experiences. And that starts as far back as 1919. We got to during COVID, when International couldn't do some of its more in-person programming, they started a weekly Zoom call where they would read through some of the minutes of the first DeMolay chapter meetings. And even listening to the minutes back then, these young men were doing all the same stuff we do now. They were organizing fundraisers. They were planning events. They were hiring, they hired a magician at one of their meetings to come in, but they're 2 meetings back. You've got to see how they were going to pay for it and all the fundraising and whatnot.
Well, that's cool.
And it's just really cool to me that, I get to be a part of an experience that is the same as one that was had 107 years ago, was the same all throughout. But it's really cool.
Now, once you get into your Master Mason degree, go do the same thing in your lodge and look back into the minutes, because it's eye opening. The like, if you go back into the early 1900s, like you were saying, it threw me off when you said 21, and I had to throw my brain. I was like, he meant 1921, not 2021.
Oh.
So do the same thing. Go back into your lodge book and just start looking back into the history, because he goes all the way back to my lodge was 1818, I do believe, is our first year of our lodge. So there's a lot of history in there, and just you can see what the lodge went through, see if they had fires or how they grew the lodge to where it is to this point. But I did had a saying that popped in my head that the DeMolays should start using now. I'm going to coin it off of brother Joe. The sun never sets on the DeMolay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Since you say you're in 31.
Once we get South Africa's chapters up and running, I think we'll be pretty close.
There you go. Nice.
All right. We've diversed into the DeMolay for a little while. Do you have anything else you want to talk about on the DeMolay there, Kevin, before we move into our next segment?
Yeah, anyone that is listening, I would highly recommend getting involved with your DeMolay chapter. If you have kids, nephews, cousins, anyone that you know that's between 12 and 21, or some states have a junior program called Squires for 9, 21. Let them know about DeMolay. Tell them how awesome it is. Invite them to a thing. If you don't, still get involved. Being an advisor is a super rewarding process. I've got to hear from my dad my whole life about how much he loves it. I'm sure Buddy will talk about it a little bit too. But we're always looking for more advisors and more supporters. Even if you can only give about an hour a month, just showing up at the meeting is going to mean a lot to the young guys. Getting to see you there. And there's always ways you can help. So go on beademolay.org is our international website. We have a chapter locator there. You can find the chapter closest to you, but I would highly recommend getting involved.
Yeah,
I would say after this podcast, get us that information so that way we can drop it in our link. So link below.
Yeah.
Or above, whichever one you're staring at the screen. I don't care. This way, that way. Maybe,
there you go.
I don't know. We're always going to the east, right? We're looking to the east. Fair to the east. All right. We got through our DeMolay segment. Now we're going to start firing questions at brother Flyboy over here. You ready, brother?
Before we start that, can I touch into one last bit of DeMolay?
Yeah, go for it, brother. This is all you right now. Go for it.
All right. So y'all had said that how awesome it would be if every Mason had been a DeMolay. And there was something else that y'all had said that really sparked my mind on that. But what do we do when we get a new member to the lodge? We mentor them, right? We've never met them, but we're taking them in, trying to help show them the ropes. I can't tell you how many people I've met that said, I wish I would have known about DeMolay when I was younger. But I also know how many people don't get involved with DeMolay right now because they don't have a kid that's of DeMolay age, or they don't have a son. They'll give us money. Money helps, but men matter. That's the biggest thing time. That's the biggest thing that helps them. I mean, we're going to mentor somebody we just met why don't we mentor these kids that need that inspiration? That's the biggest deal that we can have. When you're getting into the chapter level with active members that are 12 to 21, they don't always want their dad or their mom to be there telling them how to do things, what they need to do. They would rather have that uncle that's always got the stories that will take them on trips that their parents
The
might not
cool
normally
uncle.
do. Yeah, yeah, or if you cuss, uncle's not going to get mad at you. He's going to giggle a little bit. Just some stuff like
Fair
that.
enough. Fair enough.
So if we've got time to help grown men try to be better people, it should be our first goal to try to help our youth that are not only just going to grow up to be good people and good leaders of our community, but as a sidebar, they might grow up to be good members of our lodge and leaders of our fraternity. I mean, that's the least we could do. I mean, I know this is kind of getting a little bit extra, but I know y'all have talked before about having lodge requirements in your bylaws to be a widow's son.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What if we did something like mind-boggling, and instead of just being able to become a master mason and the next day you sign a petition and pay $150 and now you're in the Scottish Rite, what if you had to mentor our Masonic youth for 2 years, or at least be involved for 2 years before you're eligible to make that next step?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, pay it forward a
Love
little
that.
bit or something. I mean, I'm Scottish Rite Shrine Grotto. I signed the petition, I paid the money, I did all that, but
Right.
that's
Went through the jury work.
yeah. That's just something that hit me really hard when y'all said that.
No, I
Love
agree
that.
with
But
you.
that's where it's at.
Because, I mean, it's definitely, now that it's open and the elephant's in the room here. I have daughters, and they're not in Rainbow or DeMolay, or excuse me, Rainbow or
Eastern
Job's
Star.
daughters.
Job's
Yeah,
daughters,
My wife's an Eastern Star. I'm an Eastern Star member, so that way I get to enjoy lodge with my wife, and she kind of understands what Freemasonry is for me. So I suggest any of the ladies out there that are listening that are Widow Sons ladies or Master Masons ladies, join the Eastern Star. It definitely allows you to understand, just as Kevin was talking about, DeMolay allowed him to understand what Freemasonry was. I'm lacking here. I should start looking out for the chapter close to me and get my kids involved in that, because they know I get to do my podcast every Thursday night. They're like, "Dad, you get to do your podcast," and I'm like, "Yeah, I get to talk about Freemasonry." They've come and hung my jewel on my neck for when I was installed in seats, so they know all about Freemasonry, but they don't know what Freemasonry is. So. Thanks for lighting that fire there, brothers. Thanks for lighting the fire.
Well, I was burnt in a plane crash when I was 16, and DeMolay was a big part of me surviving that, so I'm no stranger to fires. But
so tell me that story. Tell me that story.
All right, I'll jump right into it. But tell everybody, the most influential advisors for these kids, the most influential mentors, is not the guy that's got a kid that's of that age. It's the guy that has no teeth of the game, that just wants to be a good guy and show them what Masonry is about, and help build them to be better. But back to the story. In what was it, 2002, when I was 16, it was over the summer. I was taking flying lessons and ended up in a plane crash. There was 4 of us in the plane. 3 of us are still here. The 72-year-old flight instructor had third-degree burns on 99% of his body. Got him out of the plane, and he was able to say bye to his family after that. I had third-degree burns on 60% of my body, and after that, I got flown to Children's Hospital. My parents were 2 hours away in Alma, Arkansas. They flew me to Children's in Little Rock. The first person that was at the hospital before the helicopter even landed was Brian Langston, past International Master Counselor for DeMolay, past State Master Counselor of Arkansas, one of my closest buddies. And that really solidified how important DeMolay was going to be in my life, because there's no bigger test of brotherhood. Me and Brian did not get along very well before this. I did not like him because he told me no to something. But ever since that day, he's been one of my biggest heroes. because he didn't care about any of that. He cared about me, and that's what we do in DeMoley, in masonry, in the widow's sons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, facts. That's why when he was talking about DeMolay over here, I'm just like, add motorcycles, and you got the Widow Sons. We just if we give them trikes, or if we give them like dirt bikes, can we make them like a little, like the little patches? Like just give them some little dirt bikes, and we can give them we'll give them some patches. No, just kidding.
In
We can make our
Arkansas,
own patches.
we've got quite a few DeMolays that their dads are widow sons, and they'll go on rides with them. I think this past year, I don't ride, but I think 4 of my state officers had motorcycles. It was kind of funny. We'd go to events, and I could tell, okay, this person's bike is here. They rode up. It was fun.
Nice.
Our current
nice.
state master counselor just got a motorcycle, and he's itching to join.
Cool.
Nice. That's cool. So, brother, Flyboy. So you've been a master mason since, you said, 2009, and have you set as master in your lodge, or which chair are you sitting in right now? I'll start off with that one.
So, ironically, I am the secretary of Alma Lodge, which I believe you're secretary of yours.
No, I'm currently treasurer. I got out of the 7-year stint.
secretary.
Yeah, I had the
Gotcha.
7-year
So
stint.
I'm secretary this year. This is my first year as secretary. I was treasurer before that.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
But it's kind of an honor to be the secretary, because as long as I was in masonry up until my dad died, he was the secretary for Alma Lodge.
Okay.
So it's a full circle moment to be there. I am a
So
past
it's like
master
passing
of
down
Alma.
the torch.
Yeah. Like I said, I wanted to be just like my dad. Here I am trying to do it.
Right.
And
There you go.
past master of Alma, past master of Clear Creek in Mountainburg, Arkansas. I'm a current member of Remy Lodge in Mulberry, and this year I'm serving as district deputy grand master for the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of Arkansas, under the
Nice.
leadership of Most Worshipful Thomas Stump Lamperez, past
Shout
state
out to
president
him.
of Arkansas Widow's Sons.
Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. So I know your life is busy right now, especially if you're a district deputy for Grand Lodge currently. So you're out visiting a lot, aren't you, right now?
Yeah. Stump keeps me busy.
I was gonna say, what's your average lodges a week? You doing like 1, 2 a week, maybe 3 a week? How many are you doing right now?
I'm usually getting a solid 2 a week. I'm not assigned to a district. I'm an at-large district deputy, so I kind of step in if they need something somewhere. And one thing I've been doing is promoting Stump at rallies. Really, when I can make it to a rally, I go promote Arkansas and the Brotherhood, and try to sling some merchandise while I'm at it.
Right. Fair enough. So you said you were a past master. What year did you what year were you spit it out, dummy. What year did you become a master? What year was that? 23?
Yeah, 23. 23, then
Nice.
24.
All right. Now let me ask you a question. I see you got a nice vest back there. Are you a widow son?
I am a widow's son.
Oh, nice. You're a widow son out of Arkansas, right?
Yes.
Nice.
There you go.
Readjust.
I can see it.
Readjust.
Hey, I'm just messing with you, brother. Just messing with you. So, what year did you become a widow son?
So that's kind of up for debate. Whenever I joined, and was still going to college when we started in Arkansas, or our chapter started anyway. I always thought, and most of the old heads always thought, that I joined back then, even though I wasn't active or coming around, because I was 3 hours away in college. But we couldn't find any paperwork from when I would have joined. So we're going to say it was around 21, 22 when it became official. Then I got branded in 23.
Nice. Where'd you get branded at? Arkansas?
Yeah, at the Arkansas State Rally in Heber Springs.
Nice, nice. Um, uh, so 23 or 21 is so you're official. When did you start? I guess I'll ask this one. When did you start hanging around with the Widow Sons?
I really started hanging around probably around that 22, 23 is when I really
Okay.
started being around. Life had kind of gotten to a point. Well, for a long time, right after I had my daughter, I didn't
Right.
ride my bike for 7 years. It just sat in the
Okay.
driveway, and a couple members of my lodge started getting bikes, and we started riding, and we decided why not go check out the Widow Sons again and hang out with those guys, and
Mm-hmm.
then it really started growing from there. And then the Widow Sons, that whole deal, really helped our lodge because when I took over as master, we were pretty rough. We had like $70 in the bank account.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now we're a long ways away from $70. We've got a lot of members, and it's helping both our lodge and the chapter grow because it's a whole new environment now.
So, did you say you have a dedicated group of brothers that are Widow Sons and Master Masons that go to their lodge quite often that are helping
Uh,
grow a lodge right now?
yes, I think at Alma Lodge, I think there's only one officer that is not a widow's son.
Nice.
Nice, nice. Like we always say here on the Two Burning Tapers, you gotta don't forget about your Blue Lodge. Make sure
Mhm.
you help your Blue Lodge, and by God, Boaz chapter is doing that, ain't you?
Yes, sir. As hard as we can,
Nice,
and that's
nice,
that's
nice. So,
really because getting into the widow's sons, it was more family oriented than we were used to at Blue Lodge. Because we were used to the
Mhm.
old way of you show up, you eat dinner, you have a meeting, you go home.
yep.
Um, but then we take wives to the widow's sons meeting. Sometimes when I started going, I started bringing my kid because she goes everywhere with me.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like my year and the year after, we just started bringing our families to dinner at the lodge, and that really started fostering our growth because now our wives aren't upset that we're going out for a meeting once a month. We're having dinner with them and our friends, and they're making new friends in this new their own little circle. So now
Mm-hmm.
it's we go upstairs to have our meeting for lodge night, and the ladies are downstairs having their own meeting to figure out what kind of trouble they can get into.
Yeah,
Um,
or how they can
so and
help
they're
support us.
yeah, yeah, exactly, and it's changed the entire environment. And people like that, especially in this day and age with the younger generation. Like, I think we need more of that in order to kind of hit that. I mean, we still need our separate space, our man space or whatever, but
Right.
getting the family involved is huge.
That's what I consider my rallies. Like I have certain rallies that I take my wife and kids with, and then I have certain rallies that it's just me. That's my go time. That's my I take my and then I come back to work on Monday morning, and you know what? I'm dedicated to my family, everything that I need to do. But that weekend was my time to hang out with my brothers, get to just to have a general conversation, enjoy the love of my brothers, and then Monday morning, I'm back to the grind and I'm reset. It's kind of like a church, I guess, if
Yeah,
you want to call it
absolutely.
that. Like we all sit around and when what's that saying there, Skittles? When those who gather,
When three or
when
more are
three or
gathered
more,
in my name.
there you go. Look,
Yeah, yeah, and I know another thing. We just recently started a Bible study on Sunday nights. I know Skittles has a Bible study that he does. Um,
Yeah.
but some guys aren't church going guys. They feel awkward being there. So we've geared ours more around to where it's just laid back. We meet in a guy's garage. We've got our motorcycles there. We might have cigars going, and we really just try to get into the fellowship and getting into the Word, so we can get a better understanding with no judgment or no feeling pressured, because you're in a building that just kind of feels that way,
Yeah, man.
which is really cool.
That's great.
I
Uh you can find Christ and the Holy Spirit in church, but sometimes you need find other places to bring brothers to get that same feeling, right?
Absolutely.
It's a lot of fun creating that in other spaces. So I love to hear that you're doing that, brother. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Tell
that's
me
all
if
Brother Lego. That was his idea, and it's been a good idea.
I was
Cool.
gonna say, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think from every Jesus movie I've ever watched, wasn't he always trying to stay out of the church and preach? Wasn't he going from town to town and not brick and mortar? I mean, like come learn the word. You don't have to be in that box to learn the word. You can learn the word right here in the street. So I think sometimes uh that is forgotten. But that's one thing I love about Freemasonry, where we're standing around, we're talking about it. We're trying to prove that. We're trying to be those characters in the Bible to go out and help out our community, help out and see how, as Kevin was saying, coming in and trying to get the whole. It's not about the one; it's about everyone. And just being able to grow the light, and be able to search for that light and continue it to grow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Amen. All right. So, brothers, you've convinced me that DeMoley is the future of Freemasonry and that we need this in our community. And I want to advocate for DeMoley. I want to be a part of DeMoley. I want to pour into it. And I think the Widow's Sons needs to back DeMoley. That being said, leaving this episode, leaving this podcast, somebody hearing this, what can we do? What can us as the Widow's Sons, what can I as a Master Mason do to pour into DeMoley or to back it? What kind of action can we do? What are you guys looking for?
The biggest thing, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, is volunteering and showing up. I've talked to some people, especially Masons. They don't necessarily want to commit to another meeting a month. They don't want to commit to another set of dues. Even if you can just come once a year, being there once a year is going to mean something to your local chapter. If you can give more, that's great. In Arkansas, the Widow's Sons helped us load the truck for our state convention, and they helped us cook a meal and help serve that meal, and we really appreciated that. There's some advisors I know that come to every single meeting. There's some that come just once a month or once every few months when they can. But no matter what, showing up is going to help. And every chapter is a little different. So I definitely talk to the advisory council or the active members of your local chapter to figure out specifics. But even if you don't want to pay dues, don't want to do any commitments, just being there when you can really will mean a lot.
Yeah,
You know
it's all
what?
about showing up. If they meet one Mason, that's their impression. If they meet 100 Masons over the course of 3 years, that's a hell of an impression.
That's
So
factual.
that's where we can really be at, is just be there to be that impression, be that mentor.
Right. And just imagine a group of guys showing up on a motorcycle, showing up to DeMolay, how those dudes would be like, yeah, we're the coolest DeMolay here. Just saying. But no, as you were saying that, Kevin, my brain was sitting here thinking, like you were saying, just show up once a year. Like, if just take this mindset here. If we had a Widow's Sons chapter, most Widow's Sons chapters have at least, I would say, 7 to 12 members, maybe more. If we could send one member once a month, if our membership was 12, it would just one member a month. Doesn't have to be the same member every month. But we had 12 members to send. How much time could we devote to the DeMolay without having to have one person do it every single month?
That would probably be close to 15 hours over that year. But one thing I will say, don't just send one. Go with your buddies. Go with your chapter members. I mean, just like how
right.
you go to the rallies to have fun, have that fellowship, the advisors have a similar type of fellowship with DeMolay. It's not just the young guys having all the fun. So I personally think, writing the 30 minutes to a chapter meeting, make that a group activity. Y'all get a little bit of a ride in, you get to help out the youth. But obviously we want y'all to come as much as you can. But what I said about just once a year, it's really just to show that anything genuinely will help. Any positive impression or being a role model or showing up at a spaghetti dinner the chapter might be hosting, or even just sharing a communication at your next meeting so that other widow sons or other Masons know what is happening with the DeMolay chapter. All of that simple stuff really will help a lot. But we'd also love to have you more if you have the time to give.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
I think a simple spot where widow sons could fit in real easy, and it's kind of what Boaz used to do a long time ago. We're widow sons. We like to travel. That's part of our founding. Typically, it's on motorcycles, but these guys need to travel too. So what we used to do is my church always let us use the church van. And when they needed to go somewhere, a couple widow sons would always show up and drive the church van and get the boys to where they needed to go, get them back, and do that. So we're transport people, helping them figure out transportation logistics. Is golden. And just about anywhere they're going, there's going to be other Masons. So you'll probably see another brother. If every widow sons chapter got involved with a local DeMolay chapter, man, it would be life altering.
Especially for a bunch of younger men to be.
Yeah.
Legitimate.
And then you could get Harley Davidson to sponsor you because they're going to be looking to sell motorcycles to those guys.
There you
go. Wouldn't that be called grooming the clientele?
No,
we should probably throw some. We should throw some Indians in on that one too, right? Just kidding.
A Yamaha.
Yeah. He said a Yamaha. Well, that is facts. Y'all might. It might be a gas trade for you guys since y'all have all the extra rice out there. It might be able to eat a little bit easier. Sorry. I had to throw that out there. That was that Yamaha joke. Yeah.
It's okay.
But what are you riding?
And then I grew up.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you riding right now, Flyboy?
Right now, I'm on a 25 Road Glide Midnight Firestorm.
Yeah, see, look, if I was buying a new bike and it was a Harley, it would not be a Street Glide. I hate the way that fucking bike looks now. Like, I own a Street Glide. It would be a Road Glide. 100%.
I had a Street Glide. I wrecked it last year. Now I'm on the Road Glide, and since I'm a burnt guy, I had to get the one with the Ghost Flames.
Yeah, fair enough.
How do you like when I saw the flames?
How do you like the feeling of the front end compared to the Street Glide?
Dude,
how long did that take you to get adjusted to?
It's like 10 minutes.
Okay, fair.
Really?
It was so nice. It was so nice.
Is it better?
Going from Arkansas to Ohio a couple weeks ago, cakewalk versus fighting that Street Glide fairing that I would have been doing 2 years ago.
Right.
I love it.
How'd you like that Ohio rally since you brought that up?
Dude, that was a good rally. That was a good rally.
I would say me and Skittles ain't got to divest on that rally since.
We haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah, that was definitely a really good rally. It's big. Yeah. I was not expecting it to be as large as it was when I pulled in that campground. I was like, man, this is big. There's no way we're going to be able to fill that up. And then here comes Thursday evening. I'm like, oh. And then Friday evening, I was like, oh. Saturday, I was like, oh, okay. Ohio, I see you. Y'all doing it. Okay.
In the slow crawl, I swore that Skittles was just riding on his saddlebags on the slow crawl. I swore. But then I saw where his pipes were, and I was like, oh. So he wasn't riding on his saddlebags.
Hey, don't be telling people, okay?
Look, dude, we got to that slow race, and it was 3 of us at the end, and I was sitting there at the end with the 2 non-fairing motorcycles. I was like, How the
Yeah.
hell is this fair? Like, let
Gilligan,
them
you
two
should-
go
yeah.
against each other, and then me and the other one
Yeah.
go against each other.
You should have gotten an award for like the slowest bagger, slowest
There
dresser.
you go.
Yeah,
There
because
you go.
that's a way different game on who you were going against there. But
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to take anything away from the boys who
Correct.
won the slow race. Y'all fucking earned it. You guys
Yes,
beat
you
my
did.
ass.
Yes.
But
I wa-
I'm coming back next year, and I want redemption. But y'all did good.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, Brother Flyboy, do you have anything you want to tell us or anything you have on your desk? Actually, you know what? Before we get there, I'm going to trap you in an elevator right now, Brother Flyboy. You're
Uh-oh.
stuck. You're stuck between floor 1 and floor 2. And I know nothing about Freemasonry, but I notice you have a square and compass. And tell me what Freemasonry is to you, and you got a minute.
So, to me, the premise of Freemasonry is we're becoming builders of men. We're building ourselves up, making ourselves a better person, but we're also helping other people do that for themselves, not just for themselves, but for their communities and for our fraternity. The biggest aspect of it that I love is the brotherhood. At any given time, there's guys from every different walk of life that are equal. I don't care what position you have. If you're the sheriff over here, or if you're a judge, or if you sweep the floors at McDonald's, we're all the same guy, and we can fellowship in that and enjoy each other's company. Um, we help build character of each other, and we're really focused on service to the community. It's not just about us being good for us; it's about us being good for everybody else. So if we're building better men, that's going to make better communities. And at least once a month, I get to hang out with a bunch of guys that I really like and have some dinner.
There you go.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Bam! Kevin, you're stuck in the same elevator. You're stuck in the same elevator. Tell me what DeMoley is to you.
I think DeMoley, to me personally, is kind of like what Buddy said. It's about the friendships. DeMoley, it's a group for 12 to 21. We learn life skills. We do events. We do all our programming. Yada yada. I already talked about that. But the thing that like means the most to me about DeMolay is the friendships that I've gotten to make. Getting to travel with DeMolay, I've gotten to meet people from around the world. Like right before this podcast, I was talking with someone from San Francisco working on a project, and then sending an email to someone in Romania asking like for a document. One of my best friends in the world I got to meet through DeMolay, he's in Colorado. And then even in Arkansas, I've got tons of really good friends that without DeMolay would not have been able to meet them. And so to me, DeMolay is the opportunity to get to see and get to hang out with these people that mean more to me than I could ever put into words. And at the same time, we're also getting to do really cool stuff and get experiences that will help us in our future. So it's a total win-win.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Perfect answer. Perfect answer. And they weren't too much different, but they were completely different.
Yeah. Very good.
Nice. Brother Fly, do you have anything on the Widow's Sons or anything you want to share on your end before we close out this lovely podcast this evening?
Not really anything I can think of. Thank y'all for having me on here. It's been great. The anticipation building up to it's been wild. Um, Thank y'all for what y'all do for the Widow's Sons and Masonry, and for letting us talk about DeMolay. And I would like to throw in a little shameless plug that Boaz chapter is going to be hosting the 2027 Arkansas State Rally, planning on being in Fort Smith, Arkansas, June 3rd through the 6th of 2027. The Facebook site is up, and we'll be having updates coming up later.
What day did you say? Month?
June 3rd through the 6th.
3rd through the 6th. All right. I don't think I've been to an Arkansas rally, Skittles, so that's far enough in advance. We might be able to make that happen.
Yeah, that sounds good. Perfect.
I did write that down.
Yeah.
Look, dude,
What
I
was
have
that
a doodle
drawing?
paper. Oh, buddy, I got me some Google eyes. Like I'm all,
Yeah, he looks
I'm
he
all.
looks like a conspiracy theorist on that piece of paper.
Oh,
Like,
buddy,
come on, we
look
gotta
at
keep this
that.
PG.
Dude, I have to doodle while I'm podcasting to keep my mind on straight because I don't catch it. But brother Kevin, do you have anything you would have on your desk before we close out of this podcast?
We're still waiting to confirm the time that weekend, but the weekend of September 19th, the DeMoley International Congress will be hosting its first town hall of the year. We'll be live streaming that to our Facebook and Instagram pages. So go DeMoley International on Facebook. You can find out more. But on that town hall, myself and the International Master Counselor, Matthew McKay, will be sharing what we've been working on at the international level. We'll be announcing some exciting new programs. And so if you're wanting to get a snapshot of what's happening with DeMolay at the international level, tune into that town hall the weekend of September 19th. And for everything else DeMolay, contact your local DeMolay chapter. Beademolay.org has a chapter locator that you can use to find the closest chapter. And if that doesn't work, just call the Grand Secretary in your jurisdiction. He should have a list too.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Grand Lodge knows.
Grand Lodge knows. They better.
Very good.
Brother Skittles, do you have anything on
Yeah.
your desk? Do you have anything left on your desk?
Yeah, man. So I just want to maybe do a conclusion paragraph here. I'm on fire about the DeMolay right now, and you guys have really
Same.
excited me about this. Yeah, dude. And
I have been.
there you go. Good, brother. And I feel
literally
like,
on fire.
I love that you brought up hey, we've got minimum lodge requirements that we've been preaching on this podcast about Blue Lodge, and now you're right, man. I'm wondering. I think the Widow Sons needs to get involved in DeMolay, and so I'm not going to advocate it right now. I think I'm going to lead the charge, and I want to get involved with the DeMolay. So I'm probably going to reach out to you guys, and that's something that I feel passionate about now that I've talked to you guys. So again, I'm so thankful for you guys giving us your time and coming onto the podcast. It's really a blessing. Very thankful. And I really appreciate you guys, and I love what you guys have to say. I love hearing your stories. I love everything you guys have preached about the DeMolay. And Kevin, you're such an amazing character, and I love what you have going on in life. And I feel like we're going to have to get you on the podcast again and see where you go, what you do with your college education, where you go. I think both you guys are awesome. So just want to say thanks for coming on the podcast. And Gilligan, this is our last podcast to advertise our ride. The Nephilim chapter, August 22nd, has a ride coming up. We got a big event at Below No Pizza. There's there's a lot of guys coming from out of state that are showing up to this ride. So if you want to get a hotel, you need to reach out to us. We've got some rooms secured. We can get you in. If you want to camp, I've got plenty of room at my house that we can set up tents, hammocks, whatever you need. But August 22nd, Nephilim is doing a ride to end Alzheimer's. So please reach out and we'll make it happen. Brother Gilligan, there's got to be something on your desk, brother. What do you got for us?
Man, there has been so much information come across my desk tonight. I don't even know where to begin, but I guess I'll start and just go off of what you were saying there is you Kevin, you started a fire for me for DeMolay because I do need to go and reach out and help some brothers in my area. I know there are some DeMolay in Louisville area, so I'm going to reach out as Skittles was saying. But keep that fire going that you have right now. for the future. It looks very bright. Always making sure that you keep yourself within due bounds, and keep your light bright. Brother Flyboy, man, do your thing out there in Arkansas, man. You're doing it good, doing it big. I love seeing you at rally, and I can't wait to see you at the next one. We're going to Indiana this weekend. I don't know if you're making it or not, but maybe sometime soon we'll get together at a rally and have some libations together. But
So I know I'll be at the Midwest in Nebraska, and I'll be at Louisiana for sure.
all right,
Very good.
fair
Those
enough.
are good rate rallies.
Yes, they are. Just the mindsets of both of these gentlemen sitting here, one being super young and one being mid-aged, and hearing the stories of them, and just hearing how DeMoley works in young age to where we are now. I'm going to say it again. I think you should go through as a kid. I think you should have to go through DeMolay or Job's daughters, either boy or girl, to understand how. I guess back in the day, as in the 1900s, early 1900s, we had classes that taught you how to be a man, or taught you how to be a woman, how to home ec, how that type of stuff, and then society kind of changed from that. But I guess, not saying DeMolay and that teaches that, but it does at the same aspect. It teaches us how to be a person, teaches how to conduct ourselves how we're supposed to be. Because you can go to church and try to learn that, but it doesn't always put it into perspective for you or teach you how to do it in real life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Other than
Put the
that, brothers,
philosophy into practice.
yeah. You brothers just keep doing what you do, and I love doing this podcast with you, brother Skittles.
Yeah, love it too. Well, brothers, hey, love it. That was a great podcast, and we really appreciate you. So let's go ahead and sign off here.
Awesome.
Thanks for having
guys.
us.
I say,